decide here. We just merely need to make sure that what we do and how we do it, it's going to be accurate, okay? With all that being said, I mean, just so you know, I don't want you to take any question I have out of context and think, well, he's really out to get this guy or that guy. That's not it at all, okay? I'm interested in trying to learn a little bit more on, did you 1090? Did you 1090?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm interested in learning just a little bit more on the circumstances surrounding Chris staying on Styles or living on Styles. What exactly is the history there, and how was that being played out as of today?
Well, he was in court for getting custody of his daughter.
Okay.
So his ex-girlfriend has been living at his house, so he didn't have a place to stay. So,
okay, so Chris's ex-girlfriend has been...
Who's Abby's mother.
Okay, and her name is?
Amy Owens.
Okay. So, due to some custody or EPOs or something, Chris couldn't stay there.
Well, I don't know all the,
Bottom line, Chris has been staying on Styles some?
So, a little bit, not very much, recently.
He had a key to the place?
Yes.
Okay. Did he have a room there?
Yeah, there was one that he was staying in.
Okay. Did he have personal, does he have personal property there now?
Maybe some couple clothes, not much. Most of his stuff, he had moved most of his stuff, out at, his shop.
Okay. So, he don't have a bed and a dresser and
it's
a television there?
No, that's all my stuff.
Just basically a
shacking
guest?
up, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But most of, ever since he got Abby back, he's been staying, either with Kathy or at his shop.
Okay. How long has it been since he had spent the night there on Styles?
Maybe, I think last weekend he stayed one night, but before that it had been a while.
Okay.
The past probably month and a half he hasn't stayed very much at all. He either was staying at Kathy's or the shop.
Okay. Let me get my notepad here.
I was gonna say, I got a notepad here if you want one.
You can grab this one I've got.
Okay. So what movie did you see?
Sing.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was cute.
Did she like it?
Yes.
Nah, I bet.
Yeah, it was cute. There was actually more adults there than there were kids.
Really? That's usually how the kids' movies work out.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of couples there that I'm like...
Yeah, for some reason, there's a lot of people like to go see the kids' movies. I noticed that a lot.
So, last time Chris stayed at house was last week.
Probably. I think it was last Saturday night.
So, about a week ago. Okay. And then the time before that, it had been how long?
It had been couldn't tell you, at least a month.
Is it your understanding this building conflict between Eric and Chris was over Chris's daughter?
Just being I guess just the language used and yelling, and he didn't want Abby in front of that. And so that's why I took her.
Is that yours?
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I got you. Get so many different texts.
Mhm.
Not sure which one. So that was the driving force that you felt was between that Chris had against Eric, was the issue with everything going on around his daughter, between the drinking and the cussing and has there been some allegation about Eric doing something inappropriate to the little girl?
No.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Nothing around
No.
her or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Tonight, whenever Chris called you, let me ask you this first of all. What would have happened tonight, let's say hypothetically, if Chris had not been upset with Eric and he'd have pulled up in the driveway and taken the key that he has to that house and went up there and unlocked the door and went in?
Nothing.
Okay. So the text and the threat, the text and the threat, that's what
Made him feel threatened.
caused Eric to become guarded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
At least
again,
that's what I got,
Okay.
from,
okay.
cause, well, when I was still at the house before Abby and I left for the last time, he had said, he's texting me saying that he's gonna come kick my ass and all this other stuff. He's like, I'm not gonna let him in. So I said, alright, well let me call Chris and I'll meet him out there so he doesn't come here.
Okay.
And
When you know Eric pretty well,
yeah, that's my boyfriend.
right? When Eric called you, how would you, if you had to describe in one or two words his demeanor at that time, how would you describe that?
When he called me
When he called you and said that basically Chris has called and he's going to come out here and he says he's going to kick my butt.
I was at home then.
Okay. Was he worried? Was he afraid? Was he mad? Was he in the mindset of that's going to be his biggest mistake ever? Bring it on.
No, because he said I don't want him to come out here because I don't want him to start fighting me and somebody get hurt, basically.
Okay.
It's kind of how he phrased it. I don't meet him with Abby and get her out of this, and you come home, and because if he comes here, I don't want somebody to get hurt because
Okay.
he is my friend, kind of thing.
Okay. So he was attempting to de-escalate the matter.
Yeah,
He
because
didn't want there to be a problem.
no, he did not want him to come out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has there ever been any violence between you and Eric or anything? Any issues with guns or?
I mean, he's gotten drunk and it's past stuff. We both made mistakes, so I don't want to bring that into
I understand, and I'm not trying to dig up bones or bring something into this that's irrelevant to try to make it relevant. I'm just trying to look at this thing as broad of a the spectrum as we can to gain the best understanding. You've been around Eric when he's been drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Was he drunk tonight?
No, not when we got home, or not when Abby and I got home after the movie. No,
Okay.
he had been asleep.
Okay. And with you leaving, you wouldn't be able to tell me if he continued to drink or not.
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
When he's drunk, I mean, how do you know he's drunk? How does he act?
He starts off like a lovey-dovey kind of, and then it kind of turns into anger.
Okay.
And usually if he is drunk and it's anger with me. And he was not angry with me when I got home. Like I said, when I got home, and I told him our movie was good. He's like, good, give me a kiss, I love you. And then I said, "Are you hungry? I'm gonna go make you, something to eat." He's like, "Yes, I'm starving." I said, "Okay, I'll go put your pizza in." And I said, "Abby's hungry too, so I'm gonna, find her something to eat." And he's like, "Okay." And then I went in there to put my pajamas on, which is how I'm still in my pajamas. And that's when he had stated, he was getting angry because Chris was,
From the time you left to the time you knew that this had occurred, how long are we talking here?
not probably 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
I not very long because
Okay. So
I got home at like 10:30 and I think I left at 11 or something like that.
So again, I'm trying to gauge how much, if any, impairment that Eric had, and it's your statement to me. You've been around him when he's been impaired or he's been drunk, and it's your opinion that he was not drunk.
I did not feel like he was drunk.
Okay. Would you have? And I'm just going to kind of use this as a hypothetical, but if he would have said, "Hey, let's run to the mall," would you have felt safe with letting him drive, or do you feel like that?
No, because he can't drive. Because he can't drive right now, so no.
But from a standpoint of, do you feel like that he'd had too much to drink?
At that point, no. Like I said, he had drank earlier in the day.
How much?
That I don't know. I was asleep. I had taken a nap. I woke up at 4:30, and he had drank.
Okay. But you think he'd been safe to drive as far as an alcohol
at that
level?
point, when I was at home at 10:30, yes, because he was not.
Okay.
He was not intoxicated. Like I said, he was asleep. So.
And I'm assuming that in the short amount of time that this occurred after you had left, you or I don't have any reason to believe that he would have become impaired or gotten drunk in that amount of time.
I mean, there's not really enough time to
that's
do that.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand that.
Yeah. And it was literally from me going from Reedland, taking the highway to exit 4. I mean, it wasn't long at all.
15 minutes or
less.
less.
Yeah, or less. I mean.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else that you feel like is important to hear for us to understand or know, or anything that sometimes you kind of, being around both of these guys for the time that you have been and his daughter, certain things may come to you as well. That's not really relevant, but is there anything whatsoever in addition that you can think of that, maybe, well, if they ask me about this, I'd tell them, but I don't really know if it's relevant, so I'm just not going to say anything. I mean, is there anything like that that's kind of on your mind that...
Not that I can think of.
Did Eric tell you what happened? What did Eric tell you happened?
He called me on the phone and was crying and said that Chris and some other guy were trying to break the doors down. And he had shot him, and he doesn't know if one of them was living or not.
He said they were trying to break the doors down and he shot them, or did he ever say, like, where they were in relation to where he was, or?
No,
Okay.
no. And when I say trying, I don't remember if he said that they did or they didn't. I just know that it was.
He referenced the door a door being or had been broke down.
Yeah.
And he had shot him. And there wasn't anybody else at the house except
Just
for Eric
animals.
whenever you left.
Yeah, just
You've got a cat and a...
There's a cat and a dog at the house, yeah.
Did he say anything to you about being afraid, or didn't know what they were going to do, or that they had a weapon, or why he shot them, or they're just kind of short and sweet to the point?
Yeah, because I was trying to get off the phone and call an ambulance out there, so.
Do you, and I'm asking you to kind of do the impossible here, unless it's just based upon your knowledge of Eric, but he never called 911. Do you know why he didn't, or why he wouldn't have?
I don't know. But I told him that I was calling, and then he asked me to come to the house, and I, obviously didn't do that. So.
Oh, he asked you to come to the house?
Mhm. But I was asked to, stop.
Okay, I got you.
Stay where I was.
45 to 1. The child is now with her. She was with another family member while she was speaking to us, and she went back and retrieved her.
No other details that he provided you as far as what had happened outside of that?
Child is with Miss
No, I mean,
Dick.
he was kind of hysterical, and
she's
so.
the girlfriend of the subject, of the father of that child.
Okay. I know that there's going to be maybe something that's should I ask you about that I'm failing to have come to mind.
I don't know if you can answer this, but what are you doing with him?
Oh, he actually
10-4. I can.
And I told him you were down here.
Do you want me to go ahead and contact the mother?
I told him that we were talking to you, that, as soon as we got done, I mean, provided you're okay with it, he's going with you.
He's leaving tonight?
Yeah, he's going to leave.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we have, I've reached out to him, and obviously, we've talked to him a little bit.
10-4. I'll go ahead and 21 her and make
got down here to
contact.
try to,
And take care of that. Do you
a
still
warm
want me to contact
environment
social
with
services?
lighting and paper and pen to try to speak to him. He's requesting to speak to his attorney before he talks to his father,
I understand that.
and I do too, and I explained that to him. So we're going to once he talks to his attorney, I think he's supposed to talk to him at 8, and then
I'll get that taken care of.
Get back with him, and basically the same thing I've told you. I've told him, we're not.
Go ahead.
We're not out to get him.
You're coming in blind to this, so you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
And I mean, obviously, we've got to come up with the answers for 2 people being shot.
Right.
And like I told you in the beginning, I can give you scenarios in which an act like that's completely justified, and I can give you scenarios where, there's times that it's not. And at this time, until we are able to gain a full insight to, based upon the evidence, based upon the statements, to make sure that everything coincides, it's impossible for us to, I definitely don't want to speak too quickly to say
10-4 I did. I'll confirm that from what we've found down here.
But
from speaking to them, he just recently went to court for custody, I
being
believe.
a little bit redundant here, but one thing I will
Either got full
promise you
custody
is
or
there are no hidden
more
hidden
custody, but
agendas with
I'll
us.
confirm
We
that.
are not out to take one person's side over the other. We're going to treat this no differently than we would for anybody, no matter who they were. And we just want to get to the truth. And if the truth shows that
10-4.
Eric done absolutely nothing wrong,
I'll go ahead and
then
contact them
that's
first.
what we'll stand on. and
45
stand
Central.
behind
Can
him
you
on.
contact Encore
If
Social Services and patch it
issues
through to my
for
phone?
whatever reason arise from this that are questionable on this being something
10-4, thank you.
justified,
45, back to
so
me.
we'll have to act on that. But at this time, it's way too early to say or suggest that it's it's going this way or that way. At this point, just look at it as a completely neutral event. I mean, I guess I will go as far as saying at this time, based on what you're saying and the few things that he has told us, there's nothing that I'm immediately picking up on that is contradicting in nature that causes me a concern as far as, well, there's no way that this happened the way you said or the way he said, okay? But with that being said, again, we're a very short ways into this, and we've got much further to go before we can make any final decisions on that, okay? Are you okay, obviously, with him going with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's no problems between
No,
you all?
no.
All right. I have informed him, and I think he's aware, and you probably, I can tell him talking to you, you're an intelligent lady, and with common sense, you probably realize this, but you all will not be able to go back to Stiles for a while. We have got, still several units there, and, obviously collecting evidence and doing our due diligence, and it's like I told Eric in the beginning, I mean, we're going to work just as hard to prove that he didn't do anything wrong as we are to prove that he did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were biased one way or the other, then we wouldn't be doing our job. That would be an injustice to this situation, and we're not going to do that. Obviously, we can't. So we're just going to collect the facts and go from there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions?
The animals.
Yes.
I have somewhere for them to go.
Okay.
Because I'm sure we'll have to go to a hotel or something tonight.
Okay.
But I have somebody that works with me that lives in Paducah, so.
Okay. I know that they were there. I know that they were fine. I think the pit bull was kind of frightened and was kind of
Probably.
laying down in the back bedroom.
Yeah, she's
So
way different than a regular pit bull than you
yeah.
think.
But we just obviously left her alone.
Yeah.
She wasn't hurting anything.
Yeah.
Nobody was hurting her. Let me touch base with some of the guys out there to see if there's necessarily a need for them to be removed. If she's just laying back there out of the way, and if you are good with it, I mean, we can just keep her there.
Well, I'm just worried about feeding and bathroom and
Go ahead.
all
Well,
that.
this is not going to be something that is going to extend into Emily Hill.
Negative. We didn't have a Miss Howard here. We have Miss Hill still here.
That's the girlfriend to Eric,
10-4, that's correct.
10-4. This pit bull that's here at the residence,
There we go.
does she want to come up here? We can bring that dog out.
So what you like to do?
Yeah.
That's 10-4. We were just trying to make arrangements with her to pick it up. She advised that that's 10-4. She'll be able to do that. Hello?
Let me
Okay.
let me call her.
It's Sergeant Rivera. How are you doing? I'm got a bit of an inquiry for you.
I'm calling him.
10-4, 3's 21 in you now. I am trying to find out some information on a child to see where she needs to go.
She actually,
Um,
we were concluding our
What was
conversation
Abby's name?
when you inquired
Abby
about the
Ingram?
dog, and at the same time, she was asking about possibly getting it. So,
And his name is
Cur-
Chris
Chris.
Ingram,
And
correct?
she's currently with
okay.
his sister, Chris's sister, and parents.
And Miss Dick is picking her back up, correct?
I guess, I don't know.
We're trying to find out. Apparently, there was a recent custody hearing for a child. We're trying to find out.
It's not for
And
her.
it wasn't for Abby.
It was, but Kathy is not her mother.
I know Kathy isn't, but I'm trying to find out if Chris what custody he has.
Oh, he has full now.
Yes, that's what was our understanding, but that was a recent hearing, right?
Yes.
We're just trying to confirm that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
I'm trying to confirm that a Chris Ingram has full custody of his daughter, Abby Ingram. Apparently there was a recent custody issue through your guys' office, and he was awarded full custody. But we're trying to find out if it's okay to have his daughter, Abby, stay with his family, his sister and his current girlfriend, because he was involved in a shooting tonight, and he was shot multiple times, and he is life flighted out, so he's going to be in the hospital for some time. And we're just trying to make sure that Abby is going to where she needs to go. So we're trying to get that, see if we can't confirm that, or see if you guys have any reason why she can't go with the family. Because from what we're being told, I guess there was some paperwork through your guys' office, and we're just trying to make sure that there's no paperwork that would prevent her from going with the rest of the family, or if she needs to go back to the mother. But it's our understanding that the mother had lost custody of her to Chris. So I don't even know if there's any way that you would be able to look that up, but we want to touch base with you just to make sure.